We have a new AG, a new congressman, CD2, among the many possibilities, ballot issues beyond the governor's race. What else will make the headline in next year's election? Wow. Craig, this is yours.
Well, let's talk about George Brauchler, because he is not laid out. He wants to be the attorney general in Colorado, and that big blue wave could swallow up a good candidate like George. Plus, there are no cherries on the other side. So many good candidates. I predict Phil Weiser may emerge. He's got the most money. He's got the CU Law credentials. He was the dean. And Melissa Hart from CU Law School just named the new Supreme Court justice. Look for the Colorado Supreme Court. It takes quite a left turn with Allison Ide replaced by Melissa Hart.
Kev.
Okay. But if there is a populist undertone, don't count Joe Salazar out on the Democratic side. Running against, if he were to get the nomination, running against an establishment Republican. If there is this populist wave going on, who's more populist than Joe Salazar? And just for full disclosure, his campaign manager worked on my campaign as well, just to lay that out there. But there's a couple other things going on the ballot next year that could get on as far as initiatives. There's an initiative to limit growth statewide that may be circulated soon. There's an initiative to repeal Amendment 71. Which is the one that made it more difficult to get things on the ballot, for real people to get things on the ballot, I should say. And there's also an initiative out there to lower the age to serve in the legislature from 25 to 21.
Eric.
I think two big stories. CD6, the Kaufman district. Kaufman has proven himself immune to challenge after challenge, but if this wave is big enough, Jason Crow, who's the likely Democratic candidate, is attractive. He's not tarnished with a lot of politics. Secondly, the battle for the legislature. There are a whole lot of Dems around the Capitol right now who just want to roll the dice, not do anything this next year, thinking that in 2019 there'll be a Democratic governor and 2 Democratic houses, and they'll control all the levers.
Penn.
You know, you look at CD2, which you started with. You've got Joe Neguse, who has the potential to be the first African-American elected to Congress from Colorado. Don't see anybody lining up on the Republican side that's going to be able to take him out, and he's got a head start on everybody. The AG's race is interesting. I agree with Kevin. I think people are overlooking Joe Salazar and that populist wave. I mean, he was one of the first early and very out front Bernie folks. And so if that wave carries, that could carry him to the Democratic nomination and could carry him through the election cycle to become the next AG.
What you're telling me is the Republican Party is screwed.
Well,
pretty much. I mean, it's this consensus at this table.
But many of these are self-inflicted wounds.
Oh, listen,
it's the Roy Moore selection, and I think the Republican Party is just nuts if they give Tancredo the nomination, and they should have nominated Jack Graham to be their Senate candidate before.
My contention is that Donald Trump destroyed the Republican Party, rightfully so, and like the Phoenix bird, something's going to show up. But what you're saying, all right, Ms. Calhoun, with the theme of the question.
Well, the Republican Party already had trouble in Colorado before Donald Trump came along. Now it just makes it even trickier. I want to go with some of the mad citizens. So we're going to see a lot of growth amendments, both locally, and I think there will be a statewide move to limit. You know, if Amazon winds up coming here, I still wouldn't be surprised if people do like an anti-Olympics initiative against Amazon. I think people are just mad, and they're mad at the powers that be, and they're mad at the parties, and people have to remember that.
I could not agree more. We're under 5 minutes. David.
Here's what won't be talked about, but should. The public employees retirement system, which is on its way to bankruptcy, can't even come close to paying its obligations, as report after report shows, other than phony things with phony numbers coming out of the people who don't want to fix anything. And that is going to take Colorado off a fiscal cliff one day, and nobody wants to do anything about it, seriously.
Craig, take a final comment, and we're going to go to disgrace or something nice.
I think that growth is a big issue. The candidate who says, I can do something about I-25, I-70, they have a leg up.